That shit got me so hot, my nigga. So hot. Like, yo, I do not play when it comes to my child. Don't play with me. But it's like, it's a whack feeling when your kid don't, not even trying to you and try to call somebody else mommy. Watch. I'm not even gonna touch y'all because everybody wanna be suing people. I'ma spit at y'all motherfucker like this. Like that. The fuck? Don't play when it comes to my kid.
Cardi B didn't just clap back. She sparked a wildfire. Overnight, a feud that usually lives in bars and chart stats veered into the most explosive claim yet. Whispers that she posted or threatened to post. Medical details about Nicki Minaj's son, Papa Bear, and used them as ammunition. In one swipe, the chatter jumped from rap rivalry to a child's privacy, and the internet caved in on itself. If you want the full story, minus the noise, tap like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. You'll get real context when it counts, not just viral fragments.
And there is an album, so you talking about no album with it? What? Y'all don't even want me to drop that album because y'all gonna be crying. Because I'ma outsell. I'm gonna have hits. I'm gonna be on top. That's a fact. Y'all better, you don't, y'all never watch the Afraid of Y'all Parents when they say you gotta be careful what you wish for because what you be wishing for is not what you're gonna want.
What used to be a scoreboard, a flex of streams, first week sales, and festival slots, has turned into a pressure cooker. Both camps have history, that's not news. The escalation is. One day it's subtweets and sly lines. The next, family members are caught in the crossfire. The crowd didn't log in to compare flows anymore. They came to watch the fallout. That pivot is the moment a competition became a minefield. It moved fast, too fast to feel real. A handful of posts, some clipped audio, a few screenshots, and suddenly the timeline believed Cardi had more than an insult. She had receipts tied to a kid. The word records entered the chat like a siren. People stopped debating who had the bigger hit and started asking if someone actually crossed the line into a child's protected world. Even a hint at medical files lands like a grenade. The reaction wasn't just fan behavior. It was the internet throwing up a boundary. Medical information isn't content. It isn't a hook, a bar, or a clapback. It's private, especially for a minor who never chose the spotlight. Fans can tolerate heated lyrics, bold boasts, and even a little mess. But the moment a child's health becomes a talking point, the temperature changes. Not because the audience lost its taste for drama, but because there's a difference between rivalry and harm. That distinction is the line people rallied around. The autism chatter didn't spring up out of nowhere. It's been a low hum for years, fueled by short clips and over-parsing body language. That's the trap of the internet era. 10 seconds of a toddler doing toddler things gets framed as a diagnosis. A pause becomes a pattern. A playful habit becomes a headline. When the latest blow-up hit, that hum roared. People stitched old videos to new claims and called it proof. It wasn't proof, it was momentum. You could watch the forensic fandom spin up in real time. Threads filled with slowed-down clips and speculative captions. Amateur sleuths charted timelines based on an expression here, a gesture there. Confirmation bias did the rest. If you thought the rumor was true, every frame looked like evidence. If you didn't, every frame looked like normal childhood. Either way, the crowd kept scrolling because the algorithm kept serving more. Platforms reward extremes. Peaks in outrage get pushed to more feeds. More feeds create more peaks. Even people who dislike both artists paused long enough to boost the fire. Strangers joined the conversation as if they'd followed the feud for years. That's how a private subject, like a child's development, becomes public currency. And once a topic starts climbing, it drags new voices into the storm whether they plan to engage or not. Nicki's replies carried pride, pain, and pointed aim. Cardi's responses aimed for maximum impact. Each line tried to top the last, until the comments didn't feel like music culture anymore. They felt like a dare. Blink, and you were behind. Flinch, and you'd miss the next wave. The escalation wasn't strategic so much as compulsive. A cycle where the only way to win the minute was to go a step further than the last minute. Going bar for bar is part of the craft. That's fair game. Personal digs are ugly, but not new. Children, though, are not buffers for adult warfare. Medical details are not weapons. Even hinting you hold a file on a minor is an ethical canyon. Whether the claim was leverage, bravado, or pure impulse, the impact is the same. A real child's privacy got tossed into a public feud, as if it were just another prop. The internet loves receipts, but the word has been stretched past meaning. A screenshot can be edited. A caption can be framed. A timeline can be bent. Even when something looks real, context can flip it inside out. That's why these moments feel so chaotic, because by the time a community can verify, the next shock has already replaced it. The speed itself becomes the message, and the message is simple: don't stop scrolling. Autism isn't a punchline, a gotcha, or a slur. It's a spectrum that shows up differently in different kids. Development can be uneven, and privacy matters while families sort it out. One video can't diagnose anyone. A rumor can't either. Using a possible diagnosis to score points dehumanizes the kid and stigmatizes the community. If fans truly care about the people involved, the first move is to stop treating neurodivergence like a trophy to wave in a digital fight. Even without naming statutes, people intuit the basics. Health information belongs to families, not feeds. If anyone actually accesses or circulates private medical material, no matter how casually, that's a door to real-world consequences. Brands step back. Partners pause. Platforms review. Courts don't care about trending sound bites. They care about evidence. Screenshots that entertained a crowd can become exhibits that outlast the trend. This feud isn't a single storm, it's a weather pattern. It rolls in, floods the timeline, then rolls out, only to return stronger when something fresh kicks it up. Each time it comes back, the stakes get a little higher. What started as a musical rivalry has annexed family, health, and identity, territories that should have stayed off limits. The longer it lasts, the more normalized the extremes become, and the harder it is to pull the conversation back to the art. Labels don't like volatile headlines that involve minors. Sponsors hate unpredictability. Festival bookers want the performance to be the story, not the security plan. When the discourse crosses into kids and health, the risk column grows teeth. That risk isn't theoretical. It shows up in calls, clauses, and calendar changes. Public perception becomes an actual line item, and it can cost. First, a spark. One post that feels pointed enough to sting. Then, an answer, sharper, crueler, and crafted to trend. Next, the crowd picks it up, divides into armies, and starts dredging archives for whatever fits the moment. Long-standing speculations, like autism, get remixed into the current outrage. Before anyone has a chance to breathe, the narrative hardens around whatever traveled the fastest. By the time people ask, did this even happen the way it's being framed? The question is drowned out by the next escalation. Strip away the performances, and there's a family on both sides that has to live with the residue when the cameras cool down. Kids don't understand trending cycles. They understand tension, fatigue, and the sudden quiet when adults are afraid to say the wrong thing. The internet moves on faster than real life does. The posts get archived. The discomfort hangs around. Whenever the main feud flares, side stories orbit like satellites. Old courtroom headlines reemerge. Relationship rumors get recut. Lifestyle accusations find new oxygen. People debate who's steering behind the scenes. Managers, partners, rivals, with half-seen motives and theory-laden timelines. Some insist it's all PR chess, a queen's gambit played with outrage. Others say it's raw emotion, no filter, no breaks, just impulse and aftermath. The truth is probably less cinematic. Multiple agendas converging in the same feed. There's recurring chatter about control dynamics, about substances magnifying volatility, about who benefits when someone spirals online. These threads stitch themselves to the main narrative anytime things get dark. They're sticky because they sound like explanations, but they also flatten people into tropes. Real lives are messier than a clean theory, and cause and effect on social media rarely runs in a straight line. If you want to keep your head while everyone else is doom scrolling, try this in real time. Ask what's confirmed, what's implied, and what's speculation wearing a confident tone. Look for primary sources, then check what the post actually says, not just what the caption claims it says. Notice edits. Notice jump cuts. Notice when a clip conveniently starts 2 seconds after something that might change the meaning. If a claim about medical files lands without clear, on-record proof, treat it like a claim, not a conclusion. Clapbacks will always exist. So will competition and ego. But some things should remain non-negotiable. Kids are off the table. Health is off the table. Private records are off the table. Every time the line gets crossed and rewarded with views, the line moves. If you want the culture to course correct, the audience has to stop incentivizing the worst moments. That doesn't require sainthood, just a pause before the share button. De-escalation doesn't require reconciliation or a selfie together. It can be practical. Stop referencing kids. Refuse to weaponize health. Keep the critique in the craft. Let the lawyers handle alleged leaks. Let management handle bookings. If the music is strong, it will outlast the mess. If the mess keeps growing, it will swallow the music. Those are the stakes. Artists live inside a pressure dome. Constant commentary, instant feedback, and a scoreboard that never sleeps. Audiences live inside one too. Endless stimulus, shrinking attention, and the thrill of being first to a take. The only escape hatch is intention. Artists can choose the next move. Audiences can choose the next click. Culture is built on those choices, not accidents. A ton of what's circulating right now, including claims about medical records, autism diagnoses, substances, control, and various exposés, consists of rumors, allegations, and speculation. Much of it is unverified and may be incomplete, exaggerated, or flat out wrong. Until there's credible on-the-record confirmation, treat these narratives as unconfirmed. Hold space for the possibility that parts, or all, of the viral story don't match the facts. This wasn't just another volley in a long rivalry. It was a test of the last guardrails we say we care about. If the crowd keeps cheering when kids get pulled into adult wars, those guardrails will snap. If the crowd doesn't, they'll hold. The internet can elevate great music, and it can also escalate harm. Which one wins depends on what we reward. If you're still here, you care about clarity over chaos, and that's rare on a day like this. Do me a favor. Like this video so more people get the context, subscribe for deep dives that don't just chase the loudest headline, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. Drop your thoughts below. Should platforms step in when minors get dragged, or does the responsibility sit with teams and artists to draw the line first? I'll be reading, and I'll pin thoughtful takes that move the conversation forward.